Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode in our draft recap series. Not recap, I'm sorry, a preview. This time, we are going with the offensive linemen, the big boys, so to speak. We had the defensive linemen last week, and we interrupted our week with a nice little college basketball March Madness bracket fill out, which is already busted. So, yeah. Big Al's
Man,
winner.
I'm glad we moved on. What's that?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Maddie, I tell you what, I'm glad we moved on to football again because I am never doing a live March Madness again. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, that was great. So let's do just that. Let's move on to college football and get ready for the draft coming up next month. Okay, so like I said, we're talking about the top offensive linemen coming into the draft this season. And let's start off with Wyatt Davis. I believe he's a tackle. Yeah, tackle for Ohio State. 6'4", 315 pounds. Now, it was a little difficult to find stats for offensive linemen, other than pancakes and sacks allowed. So those are the kind of, there's pressures as well, pressures allowed to his quarterback. So I have a few of those, but I've also got a couple of sentences that I think I'll just say from the beginning. So Wyatt Davis allowed 1 sack all year. He's an athletic guard with terrific size and upside. Sets with a wide base, bends his knees, and consistently gets leverage on opponents. Fires off the snap, fluidity gets out of the second level, and is outstanding blocking in motion. Easily slides in space, displaying good lateral blocking range. Stays square, and keeps his feet moving. So, this sounds like he's pretty athletic for 6'4", 315 pounds. I don't have a 40 time for any of these guys, so that's something we can look out for later on if you're really interested. But, Big Al, what do you think of Wyatt Davis?
Maddie, to help you out on some of this, I did look at these guys 40 times from a different source, and it seems like all these guys are in like the 5 5.0 to 5.2, 5.3 range. So
Okay.
not bad for those guys that are like 300 pounds. Like, that's not too bad for the guys who can run like that. But I did find a little bit of stuff on Wyatt Davis. And Matt, I actually known in his 4 years of college, he hasn't started all of the games. And so like because of injury each year, he's always had problems with injuries, so that could be a factor heading into the draft with guys like that. He is a good run blocker, as you said, with that his athleticism. He's a good run blocker. Um, and I know he only allowed 1 sack, as you said, last year, but the previous years it was worse. So I think he does need to improve in the passing protection spot, and but he'll be a good developmental player.
Okay. Do you have a draft round grade?
Um, because of the just the ability to run block and more or less in the pass protection, like and the injury proneness, I'm gonna say he's a day three, like third round, third, fourth round.
Okay. I agree with that. Okay, so let's take a look at Wyatt Davis from Ohio State.
That, and I think trying to just get him to settle into the game early with the play calling by Ryan Day against a very aggressive defense.
They're throwing on first down, and KJ Hill has it. And this
Able to establish the run. They're going to go tempo here. Olave leads the receivers on the outside. Isaiah Simmons and A.J. Terrell, the top corner for this team.
and Dobbins. Tigers again crowd the lineman back out. Fields has time.
To the left, found that throwing lane and made a great throw with great accuracy.
Looking to throw again. Delivers sideline route. It's Chris Olave.
Aggressive, the Ohio State offense with the play calling and the tempo.
Fields again looking to throw.
And Justin Fields are attacking.
And now Fields surveys, dumps it down to Dobbins, who makes the catch.
Tempo offense.
Dobbins slips down. Been a great drive, but this is a crucial moment early in the game. Ohio State looking to Fields, who scrambles to Dobbins in the clear. Off to the race.
Yeah, zone read on Xavier Thomas. If he stays wide, they're going to hand it off. It's exactly what happens here. Good job by Fields. But look at the left side of that offensive line, led by Munford, pushing and winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Does a good job of that push, and that kind of frees up Dobbins to be able to make that play.
From the 9, Dobbins into heavy traffic.
In here, so see what they do.
Fields from the end zone, flips it short. Mack makes the catch, big collision. No conservative call. Fields from the end zone delivers. Hill.
The confidence that he has in his quarterback, Justin Fields.
Dobbins starts right, cuts it back, and Fields has protection. Almost. Each defense missing a great chance for an interception. That could have been a potential pick 6. Third and long again. They need 9. Fields is pressured and fighting for his life, and he'll be arrested.
They've got backers. They've got a safety up tight. You're trying to figure this out with pass pro. You're maxing it because you got the back there. But the speed, the relentless approach there by... If they played a Pac-12 championship, they would have been the 4th team.
Fields rolls out, delivers.
Led by the...
Well, so it looks like Wyatt Davis, the left tackle for Ohio State, protecting Justin Fields there. It looked like all that tape was from the Clemson semifinal this past season. So had a couple of good ones. Cleared the line, like the entire line. Like they had to move across, and he blocked, including his teammates, pretty much the other 8 guys on the line, and just shoved everybody in that direction. So big guy, able to very was light on his feet. So we'll see how that moves on to the next level. Okay, let's move on to Tevin Jenkins, 6'6", 320 pounds. No sacks allowed, but also 11 pressures to his quarterback. So he didn't give up the end of the play, but he did probably put his quarterback on the run a few times. He's created a habit of establishing quick wins by striking his hands and controlling defenders. As a run blocker, he's able to create considerable amounts of movement when able to gain momentum prior to engagement points. So, strong hands, probably at 6'6", I imagine they're long, 320 pounds, big guy. So that stiff arm is probably pretty strong. I mean, a defensive end is going to have just about the same or bigger wingspan just to have any type of effectiveness with his hands. So, Big Al, what do you think of Tevin Jenkins?
Matt, you said he was from Oklahoma State, correct?
Yes, that's true. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, from what I was seeing here, I definitely agree that he's a good run blocker because the Oklahoma State running back was one of the top rushers of college football last year. So and he was a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of big, he is a big guy at 6'6", that can definitely help in the next level. And he is a good run blocker. He can run block for anybody, and he's a great edge rusher. Guys coming off the edge, they might be quick, but he has that footwork, being at 6'6", 320 to just to stop him. So it's gonna be hard to get by this guy.
Yeah, definitely. How about a round
Um,
guess?
I know there's some bigger names out there that we have yet to talk about, but just based off of the bio on him and whatnot, I'd say he's more of a second round pick than the bottom half of this group.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, okay, so the title of this video that I found is Tevin Jenkins plays football like he's angry. So let's just imagine for a second a guy who's 6'6", 320 pounds, who's angry. It's a scary sight. So let's check out Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State.
Tevin Jenkins plays football like he is personally offended that you are trying to line up across from him and beat him one-on-one. When you put the film on of Jenkins, it's very hard not to love this guy. At 6'6", 320 pounds, the guy is a brawler. He's extremely powerful, and his hands displace defenders. And his mindset is very aggressive, and this is why I think Jenkins might be the most underrated prospect coming out of the 2021 draft class. About 2 months ago, most people had Jenkins somewhere between pick 50 to 96, which would have made him a late second to third round pick. Today, he's being mocked in the top 40 in almost every single draft, and honestly, by the time the draft comes around, I think Jenkins might end up being a top 25 pick. And right now, Jenkins is my number 2 offensive tackle, right behind Oregon Penei Sewell. But let's discuss what makes Jenkins such a great prospect. Let's just jump right into it. In this first play, you're going to see Jenkins do a great job sealing off the backside. Now, as a defensive end, you want to get to the inside here and shut down any gap to the backside. You don't want to allow the running back to have the option of cutting back. Now, of course, the running back here doesn't cut back. He hits the front side anyways. But as you're going to see in the next play, the running back actually does cut back. But because of the fact that Jenkins is able to seal off the backside on this second play, there is a lane there, and the running back picks up a number of yards. And this is 100% because Jenkins is fast and quick enough to seal off the backside defender. Now, NFL teams that run zone are going to absolutely love this. And it's not just backside blocking that Jenkins is fantastic at. Front side blocking, he is just as dominant. He understands how to take the proper angle. He knows how to seal defensive linemen. If I had to rank Jenkins on how he understands and processes angle blocking, he'd be a 10 out of 10. The guy is very impressive on film. Throughout his college career, Jenkins played a ton of left tackle as well as right tackle. OSU was so inconsistent on the offensive line that they basically asked Jenkins to move all over the place. In the first game of the season against Tulsa, Jenkins played left tackle and then quickly moved over to the right side, and he played right tackle the rest of the season. In the NFL, he can pretty much play left tackle or right tackle, and if a team already has both of those positions locked up for the next year or two, they can even draft Jenkins to play guard. He can pretty much do everything, and I don't know if he ever has any experience at center, but don't be surprised if he can convert into a center and be a solid center as well. The dude is nasty. And I want to show you guys a couple of blocks that really impressed me on film. There are offensive linemen in the NFL that are nasty, that don't give up, and when they get angry, they will take people and drive them 10 yards. And this is exactly what Jenkins does on this play. He takes this defensive line and he pushes him back and straight pancakes him out of bounds. And this is something teams are going to absolutely love.
Wow. Okay, so there you go. The perfect figure, you won't be able to see it, but the ending to that video was perfect. It was a sweet play and had him a toss out, and he just took his defender the whole way to the sideline. They got close to the Gatorade punch, so that was yeah, it seems like as soon as he gets his elbows locked, play's over. Like there's nothing you can do with those arms. Massive guy. So yeah. Okay, now let's move on to Christian Darrisaw. 6'5", 314 pounds. I've got zeros across the board. No sacks, no pressures. So he had a very good season. From a size, length, and mobility standpoint, Darrisaw firmly checks the boxes and should immediately become an asset to an NFL franchise in pass protection. Outside zone runs as well, and utilizing his exceptional ability to pull and connect with moving targets in space. So, big compliments there, saying that this guy should be a starter, especially in pass protection. So, Big Al, what do you think of Christian Darrisaw?
Um, another big guy, who's in the 300 range of weight. That's like I said, I'm always in favor of like the bigger between 6'5" and up in offensive linemen. That's just me, but good size. He's very good. He's good athletically, even for the size and his weight. But they say from sources that the scouting reports that he's not the most physical, and you would think otherwise because of his height and weight. But they say he's not the most physical, but I guess because he's not that physical, that's why he's more athletic and he can make the bigger plays like that. So yeah, he should be a good first second year player in the NFL.
Yeah. Um, how about a round pick for him?
Um, I know he was ranked a little bit higher than the other guys we were mentioning, so I'm even though I said Jenkins second, I'll go later second to third round.
Okay. Okay. Um, some of the mock drafts that I've been finding actually have uh, the top 4 out of 5 of this list that we're doing to be first round guys. So this could be, I think that potentially could be because of need, though. I think that there's a lot of need for tackles in the NFL.
Yeah.
You have a lot of I feel like there's been a lot of injuries on the offensive line the past few years, but okay, so let's check out Christian Darrisaw.
Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech. Darrisaw made an immediate impact for the Hokies, making his career a long and good one. Now he's off to the 2021 NFL Draft. Out of high school, Darrisaw was a 3-star prospect who chose to go to Virginia Tech. He saw the field right away and made an impact at left tackle. The Hokies went 6-7 that year with the help of Darrisaw. The next season, Darrisaw continued playing well and made some All-ACC teams. Virginia Tech went 8-4 before losing in the Belk Bowl to Kentucky. For 2020, Darrisaw was a first-team All-ACC performer, and Virginia Tech went 5-5 on the season. After performing well for all 3 seasons, Darrisaw decided it was time to move to the next level. He is currently projected to be selected late in the first round or early in the second round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Where do you think Christian Darrisaw will be selected in the 2021 NFL Draft? Make sure to let us know down in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icons.
All right, so there was Christian Darrisaw. Like you said, didn't seem to be the most not like the last guy. Didn't seem to be the most aggressive, but still agile. Being for 300 pounds, that's pretty good in my opinion. Anybody who can jump out the line and get downfield quickly on 300 pounds is not an easy task. So, okay. Now, these next 2 guys, I believe, are easily the best 2 offensive linemen in the draft. Big Al, I'm hoping you've got this one as a first rounder because he's supposedly, from the other mock drafts I've seen, he's top 15. And that is Rashawn Slater of Northwestern. You're going to like this tidbit I've got here. So, gave up 5 sacks, 6 pressures. So as far as the statistical stuff, he probably isn't the best in this category of these 5 guys. But 6'3", 314 pounds, so one of the smaller guys on the list. The big tidbit I've got here is that Slater's arms were long enough to keep NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year Chase Young from touching his quarterback last year. Chase Young at Ohio State in 2019,
right,
going up against Northwestern, was unable to even touch the Northwestern quarterback because he was going up against Rashawn Slater the whole day. And Slater held his own. So I thought that was a very interesting matchup and kind of bragging rights because Chase Young is a monster in the NFL so far. So maybe Slater comes in this year and actually is just as good on the offensive line. Big Eye, what do you think, man?
it's funny you mentioned that, Matt, because I was gonna bring something similar up with that because one of the aspects that he has is he moves quick.
Yeah.
So going up against the players of the Big Ten, especially with Chase Young, he's gonna have to move quick if he wants to keep up with him. So and as far as you said, he did a great job of that. So he moves quick and he's not the biggest guy.
Mm-mm.
You know that might be an issue depending, but he's from what I understand, he's a very smart guy, and you know the fact that he can go up against the Big Ten guys, I see a lot of good things coming for him. So yeah, not the biggest guy, but he's smart and he can move. So I think that's gonna be a plus.
Yeah, Northwestern's actually had a decent team the last couple of years, so maybe it's because of this guy. We'll see how they do, next year to see if there's a major loss. I would assume it will be. So, all right, let's take a look at Rashawn Slater.
So nothing makes me happier than finding a draft narrative that I hate coming on this channel and cleaning it up, right? Now, I know that the super draft fan will know better, but there are some casual draft fans that aren't hip to who Rashawn Slater is. This is Rashawn Slater, ladies and gentlemen. And if you were a member of my Patreon, you saw this film session about two months ago. And it was about a 40-minute long film session. So if y'all want to see these longer film sessions earlier, go to patreon.com/VochLombardi. Anyway, so if I were to give you a scouting report, right, and I said, hey, this is Rashawn Slater's scouting report, and you open it up, and the only thing written on it was, I whooped Chase Young, draft me. Do you draft that guy? And the answer is 100%, right? I'm looking at Rashawn Slater as the ultimate eraser, right? What I mean by that is, like, if you're a team in some division and they have a pesky right defensive end that's really good in that division, then you need a guy that can erase that right defensive end from the division. You see what I'm saying? Rashawn Slater rolled up in this game, Northwestern versus Ohio State, and he erased Chase Young, okay? Totally took him out the game. Now, does that mean, like, don't get me wrong, Ohio State still won. They still beat the hell out of Northwestern, right? But that's just because Northwestern just had a little bit too much dip on the chip. But it wasn't because of Chase Young. Chase Young wasn't the reason why Northwestern lost this game here, because Rashawn Slater was effective in doing the things at eliminating Chase Young. Chase Young's going to beat you with super athleticism. He's going to beat you with arm length. He's a beast, man. Chase Young was the guy last year. But Rashawn Slater beat that, okay, with timing. He beat that with hands, precise hands, quick hands, knowing when to engage, when not to engage, when to bait, how to erase Chase Young's arm length with leverage. I'm gonna get into all that a little bit later, the actual technical nuance. Come on, son, hold on, wait a minute, time out. Is this your king? Wait a minute, let's go. Is this your king, Rashawn Slater? Okay, Chase Young is your king. How he's gonna nice feet, light feet, and he's gonna say, okay, cool. The quickest route to Chase Young's chest plate is right down the middle, right? And I'm just gonna get hands there. And this is hand strength, grip strength. This is how I defeat Chase Young. Because if my hands are down the middle of you at this point, then your arm length doesn't matter. Chase Young has long arms, and he makes those arms longer by turning to a side. But if I'm going to attack you down the middle and keep you square, then you lose the arm length advantage. That's nuance. And you see this all the time with guys like David Bakhtiari. You see Tyron Smith do this. You're like, man, how you able to block this dude with one hand? Well, Chase Young isn't very strong right here. In this position, with my hand down the middle of you, you're not very strong because you don't have an established position on me, right? So how can you negotiate my block and I basically just cut you in half?
All right, so there was Rashawn Slater. And that was exactly what I was talking about. He was holding his own against Chase Young there. Big Al, what round pick would you say for him?
I'm gonna boost this up a little bit and say he's more of the top of the first round. I'm gonna say middle of the first round.
Middle first round. Okay. All right. So he's definitely up there. Good talent for an offensive line. Could be a franchise guy for anybody who needs it. So, okay. Now, here is the big name. He opted out at the beginning of the college football season due to I think it was because they were unsure if the Pac-12 was even going to have a season at that point. They did, and it was only about 6 or 7 games. So he didn't really miss much. I think Oregon would have been pretty good with him, but that is Penny Sewell. He's a monster, 6'6", 325 pounds. He's allowed 1 sack in his entire, I think, 3-year career at Oregon. So Penny is quick off the ball and is great at bursting off the line of scrimmage and getting to a spot. He's quick enough to meet assignments on the edge while being under control at the point of attack. His combination of size combined with his twitch is a big part of his allure with scouts and other evaluators. So reaction time is huge. I think that's what they're getting at. Mixed in with size, obviously, with the height and the long reach, and also mixed in with speed. I mean, he's quick, light on his feet. It's kind of like total package. It's everything you want in an offensive lineman. Somebody who can react as quick as possible and is fast enough to use that in his reaction, and big enough and strong enough and long enough. So I think it's the perfect package. In my opinion, he is, I'll say he's the first non-quarterback taken in the draft, which could be 3, 4, somewhere in there. I think there's 2 quarterbacks taken to start the draft, and then Penny Sewell comes off the board. I think he's the next best player outside of quarterback. So,
Wow.
Yeah, what do you think of Penny Sewell there, Big Al?
It's hard to argue with those points, Matt. Just the him being like your every down lineman type of guy. Like he just provides everything. Like, and Oregon's offense in the past has been just explosive. So he was a big factor in that, protecting the quarterback and letting them run and everything like that. So he's definitely your every down kind of guy. And I'm blanking here. I'm trying to compare him to someone in the NFL right now, like your every down lineman of the NFL, but can't think of anybody right now. But he's going to be definitely great. And he was actually supposed to go in the draft last year, and he was supposed to go first over the 4 other guys that went in the first round. So I can understand why you're saying he's going to be the first one off the board. I'm gonna say around the I'd say top 10. You said top. You probably said top 5. I'd say top 10. But yeah, he's gonna be up there and ready to go.
It'll be interesting to see what you think of some of the skill position players once we get to that in the coming weeks, because I feel like all of these picks, you've downgraded. Not really downgraded, but like you've always been hesitant to say like he's going to be the man. I think well, it'll be interesting to see once we get to like quarterback, running back, wide receiver to see what you think here. All right.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's take a look. Penny Sewell from Oregon. And first we've got an ad. So we're going to let that play. And it's actually for 10 seconds. So, Big Al, how's life, man?
Oh, great, man. It's just great, work.
Okay, that's it. That's enough of that. Penny Sewell for you.
Tonight, then the 2019 winner of the Outland Trophy as the country's best lineman, the Oregon tackle. He's just a sophomore, too.
Tell all the children to lock those doors. I seen the smoke in the sky before. Gotta be up on my feet when the morning comes, 'cause this fight we can't ignore. I feel a chill building up inside, seeing the sweat filling up my eyes. Tell every friend, enemy in flesh and blood to send out the battle cry. Fingers stretching out from nowhere, reaching for my throat. They're hungry for my skin. Teeth wide, smiling that they found me, circling around me, slowly closing in while you say everything is gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be fine, fine, fine. Fingers stretching out from nowhere, reaching for my throat. They're hungry for my skin, my skin. Teeth wide, smiling that they found me, circling around me, slowly closing in. You say, tell the children to lock those doors. I seen the smoke in the sky before. Gotta be up on my feet when the morning comes. This light we can't ignore. I feel a chill building up inside, seeing the sweat filling up my eyes. Tell every friend, enemy, and flesh and blood, send out the battle cry. Everything is gonna be fine. Fine. Everything is gonna be fine. 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 Fine.
All right, there was Penny Sewell from Oregon. Just a violent, gigantic, fast, just crazy good player. So there you saw him blocking for Justin Herbert the last time they were both on the field for Oregon. I can't imagine he falls to the Chargers. I forget where the Chargers are picking, but I doubt he's going to fall back and continue to block for Justin Herbert there in LA. If I had to guess, he would probably go to Cincinnati. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Your top 5 offensive linemen coming into the draft this year, next month. I really appreciate everybody tuning in and continue to tune in because we are coming up on some of the bigger names now. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Now we're getting into the skill
What do we got?
positions. So we're going to start off with the tight ends. But after that, we'll go with wide receivers, running backs, and then end it with quarterbacks. So you've got all those big offensive stats type of players coming up. So now we're getting into the good stuff. All right. So everybody, check back next week for the tight ends. Big Al?
Yeah, I'm glad you said tight ends. You know, we got some surprises for you. So looking forward to that. And as you said, the top three on the other than tight ends are gonna be fun to do. So yeah, just enjoy, guys. Sit back, questions, comments, let us know. But we're we're ready to roll for you, and let's have some fun.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.